Here's Brian Windhorst talking about the Lakers specifically. I think him and Greeny are also kind of trying to figure out what the hell are this Lakers team? How good really are they? Take a quick listen here.
I mean, look, let me tell you how badly the Clippers wanted to win this game, Greeny. They played Kawhi Leonard almost 40 minutes in this one. He had a great game. He had 33 points. He hadn't played that many minutes since November of 23. The most points he scored in over a calendar year, and they still handle their business. They've got 9 straight wins over teams with winning records. I am looking for a reason not to believe in this team, but they woke up today with the number 2 seed.
Let me stop real quick. So he said 9 games in a row against teams over 500. 11 now. You know, the games we weren't counting before, here's what happened. February 1st, Lakers played the Knicks before, and that's when a lot of people kind of started taking those records. They've won 11 games now against teams over 500. Before they beat the Knicks, they had beat Boston and somebody after Boston. I can't remember off the top of my head. So even that. I like what Windhorst is saying right here, too. I'm looking for a reason to say, no, this is not going to work. Guys, this is not supposed to work right now. Guys, they just traded for Luka. Obviously, this is going to take time. They weren't able to go get Mark Williams, a big kind of a rim protector, somebody, a lob threat that works really well with Luka. This year is supposed to be house money. They're not really supposed to accomplish something. And even Windhorst is having issues trying to figure out how they've been this successful. You can keep watching here.
They are really in a good place right now and winning in a way that I am beginning to believe is truly sustainable.
Okay, I'm going to forward it here just a second. This is more on why is this sustainable? Take a listen.
Well, they're defending. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, any discussion about the Lakers is can they defend? And you would think with their lack of size in the interior would hurt them. And on Friday, Ivica Zubac, who's one of the better centers they've played, hammered them. He had like 27 points and 16 rebounds, and they still won because they're doing a really good job of using their perimeter size to create mismatches. They're doubling the right players. They're staying off the right players. There's a little bit of a golden touch right now. I expect them to come back to earth a little bit. They've got a very challenging 4-game road trip that starts later this week. They've got to come play in Boston. They got to play in Denver on that road trip. So they're not going to win out the rest of the season, but they continue to demonstrate that this is a sustainable pathway because of that defense. I can't look at them and say that they've been the top defense in the league for 6 or 7 weeks now and say that that's just a fluke. They are just generally playing sound defense with a good structure under J.J. Redick, and it keeps resulting in victories.
All right, stop it right there. I'm about to rewind it just a second just so we can look at that schedule. So it's where the Lakers are sitting. Like Brian Windhorst, even in some of his, even the way Windhorst is kind of trying to explain everything, you could tell he's kind of like, are they really that good? Should they be winning this many games? Should they be clicking this fast? I'm a big fan of Brian Windhorst. So anytime he talks, I do at least go out of my way to kind of, okay, what has he got to say? What is his angle? What's everything else that he's saying? Okay, with that in mind, okay, we'll sit here, and this is the schedule that the Lakers got coming up over the next 5 games. Pelicans tomorrow, Knicks, and then they go on this road trip. So road trips, you got some games here. But the Lakers are beating everyone anyway, so I don't, doesn't even really matter to me whether they're playing at the road, they're playing at home, whether they're playing teams above 500, whether they're not. 11 wins in a row against teams over 500. So I guess here's my question to Laker fans. Are they just the second best team in the West? Is it just as simple as that? I mean, a lot of times you don't need to look at the standings and say, well, because they're 6th, they must be the 6th best team in the West. I think we all understand there's circumstances, there's injuries, there's this, there's that, whatever the case is. But right now, if the Lakers were about to start a 7-game set against Houston, they're probably favored. Against Memphis, they're probably favored. Against the Clippers, they're definitely favored. Clippers, I got to be honest with you. I thought they were better than what I saw over the weekend. I got some notes here on the Clippers. They really were not that impressive at all. We'll spend a little time when Brad Turner comes on. We'll talk a little bit about them and kind of the direction that they're going. Are they just the second best team in the Western Conference? Are the expectations, because I don't mind calling myself out at all. I know it was about a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago, that I was like, hey, they're kind of playing with house money. But I did say it also depends where they end up in the standings. If, you got Houston in the first round and it's a 4-5 matchup and the Lakers are at home, they're going to be expected to win that series. But after that, it's kind of like, all right, well, this isn't supposed to be the year that the Lakers are supposed to make noise. It's just not. How can it be this year? Are your expectations now starting to change? I mean, if the Lakers end up a number 2 seed in the Western Conference, does it become basically just a disappointment if you don't get to the Western Conference Finals and try to make some noise against the Oklahoma City Thunder? Look how fast this has changed. Look how fast we went from, no, this is not that big of a deal. It's going to take some time. Yes, there's excitement, but the roster is clearly flawed. I haven't seen JJ Redick or any of the players, whether role players or star players. Nobody has made an excuse about this roster. And because Memphis lost a couple of games, Houston lost a couple of games, I think when the Lakers actually made the trade for Luka Doncic, they were 7th in the Western Conference. Yes, there were a lot of teams that were tight and everything else. Here they now are sitting in the number 2 spot. Boston beat Denver yesterday at Boston, and now they're sitting at the number 2 spot. Are they just the second best team in the West? Is it just as simple as that? Do we take whatever our interpretation was of the Lakers in the past and we just completely wipe that away? It feels like it. It feels like that's kind of the situation and the predicament that the Lakers are in. And yeah, I mean, I had a kind of a difficult time, I guess, embracing that a week and a half ago. Well, how do you now not embrace that? They got 2 superstars. They play phenomenal defense. They got a coach that clearly knows what he's doing. And listen, we'll see if that changes. Come playoff time, it's going to be J.J. Redick's first playoff run as a coach. But anything you've thrown in front of J.J. Redick now, clearly he hasn't had an issue with. They got role players that understand their role. Just a trip that we're all sitting here, and this is how good and how successful the Lakers have been this quick. It's Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce. So KG Certified is the podcast that he does. Take a listen here. Listen to these two guys talk about the Lakers and talk specifically why they would be very, very dangerous in a 7-game set. Let me get it to the point that I wanted at. Okay, take a listen.
Money on Lakers versus OKC. If I got to put money on Lakers versus OKC or Lakers versus Memphis or Lakers versus Houston, I mean, I got to roll with the OGs on that one because they done been in deep waters of the playoffs, and those bright lights ain't going to get to them. So the only threat I think is Denver, who I'd be like a little bit like, all right, Denver got experience, and I know, but then y'all just made Denver look like nothing.
Smoked them. Bron looked like he was in Cleveland again.
Yeah, so
motherfucker had like 7 dunks.
I mean, the Lakers are looking scary.
Okay, I'm gonna forward it here real quick. By the way, I see some of the comments. People are, well, I still hate Paul Pierce. All right, well, go ahead and listen to him. All right, he's talking about the Lakers and he's talking positively about the Lakers. Take a listen.
They're looking like a real threat in the West because I don't see the teams in front of them with the experience outside of Denver because they got the best player in the league. You know, they're gonna be a threat, and then but see, Luka can cancel him out all across the board.
Then you got Bron.
And then,
listen to them talk about Bron, and it shows you the respect that these two have for LeBron James. It's actually kind of funny listening to. Take a listen.
you got Bron.
Bron's second. It's going to be hard to match a guy up with your second against that.
If Bron is the second best player. Damn. Damn. If Braun is your second best player on the championship team, dog, the West is in trouble, dog. Because I'm looking at everybody else second best player. So when I look at OKC, who they second best player?
Dub.
J-Dub or Chet. I'm taking Braun. So now you look at who else? Memphis. Who they second best player?
J-Jack.
Yeah, I mean, in the gap between everybody else's second best player, the gap between Braun and them is way up here. That's gonna be crazy. And Lakers' third best player, Reeves, he's averaging a dub.
He activated.
He activated.
He think he him, bro.
Yeah.
He out here like, all right, I got the ISO, y'all ain't helping? Y'all staying home?
He's just as good as all the top team's second best player.
I'm saying, bro. Austin Reeves.
All right, I'll stop it right there. Listen, this isn't two random guys that have no NBA experience or, these are champions. These are dudes that played in the league for obviously a number of years, have won championships. I don't know what it was about that clip, about them saying LeBron as the second best player, and they both look at each other and they just start laughing. Like, these guys 100%, and they're going to be honest. They're going to say it how it is. Obviously, they won a championship with the Boston Celtics. They beat the Lakers in the NBA Finals. They're going to say it how it is. I just thought it kind of gave you some perspective of them comprehending, what do you mean LeBron's not the best player on that team? What do you mean Luka's the best player on that team? And that makes LeBron the second best player on that squad. I watched it a couple different times yesterday. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was really, really funny that that's how it was set up. But both of those guys obviously are talking about from experience. They're looking at some of the other players that are on the they're looking at some of the other teams out there and saying, okay, but what about the inexperience that some of those guys have? Isn't a guy like Luka, who was just in the NBA Finals, and a guy like LeBron James, aren't they going to be able to just kind of slice and dice whatever other teams throw at them or throw their way or whatever the case is? So I thought that clip was just freaking hilarious to me. And it also gives you some insight of how other NBA players are looking at the Lakers right now. All right, thank you very much for watching the clip. Just want to give a shout out here to one of our partners, the Wallace Firm. They are official injury attorney of the Sliwa Show and Hoops Talk, the entire channel. If you are ever in a need, and I hope you're not, but some type of serious injury with yourself or a family member of yours, I would like to personally help you by introducing you to the best in the business, Brad Wallace and the Wallace Firm. Also got a URL out here that you can use as well. Just go to wallacewins.com/Sliwa. Thank you for their partnership, and thank you for being a part of the Sliwa Show.